Hello everyone, and welcome to my quad chimps guide with Obin and Grandmaster Ninja. This is going to be the start of a series where I make guides with strategies that were used in like 2020 or 2021, older strategies for black bordering. This was actually the original strat that people used to black border quad with Obin and Grandmaster Ninja. It's kind of weird, but I guess it worked. First, you got a dart as left and as middle as possible. Next, you've got a dart right over here as right and as middle as possible. And then a dart right over here as top and as middle as possible. Pretty easy. For round 7, set your right dart monkey to strong. And then at the end of the round, set it back to first. And then get a fourth dart monkey right over here as bottom and as middle as possible. For round 9, the easiest way to beat this round is just to get a sub right over here as bottom right as possible, as quickly as you can. If you don't, there's a good chance you just die. And now, let's go straight for Obin. You should be able to get Obin in the middle of round 12, right over here, as low and as middle as possible. And then for 14, get a sniper right over here and set it to strong. And then for 15, we can afford range and we'll get it later, but it actually makes the round more inconsistent if we buy range. It's very weird. But then use brambles right at the start of the round. Ideally it'll go on the right side, but if it goes on the left, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's weird that buying range actually makes this round less consistent. Who would have figured? And then, just get intel on your sub, and then twin guns whenever you can afford it. On 22, if you'd like to use brambles, go ahead. And then get airburst in the middle of the round. And then for 24, upgrade your left dart to camo. And then get lead on your sniper. And that's all we're going to be doing for a while. So I'll see you on like round 35. Or actually 33. Because we need to get our right dart to camo as well, but yeah. So yeah, as I accidentally said earlier, get your camo dart on the right for 33. So, for 35, this is actually when we're going to start buying stuff. First, get a village right over here, as high as possible, and you want it to just barely not affect the sub. Just right over here. And then, get it to discount with bigger range, and now it should affect the sub. And then, get a wizard as high as possible while still being in discount range, and then get it to Arcane Blast, and then when the rainbows come out, use brambles, and then get Arcane Mastery as soon as you can afford it. And then for 36, set it to strong, get Intense Magic, and Monkey Sense the instant you can afford it. It being set to strong here is very important as it makes the round the most consistent possible. On the last wave, you can also use brambles if you'd like, but from what I just saw here, doesn't seem like it's needed. And then for 37, set your Arcane Mastery back to first. You can also get your sub to triple guns if you'd like. That'll help, and we have to do it for round 40 anyway, so might as well do it now. Huh. Seemed a bit sketchy there. You should be fine. And then, so the alch buff gets thrown instantly on the sub, we want to place an alchemist right over here, as just like right below the sub while still being in discount range. Just right over here. We want to do this after round 39 just so the alchemist throws its potion instantly. Get it to a berserker brew with faster throwing. And then use brambles when Obin starts attacking. Pretty easy round 40. And now, let's get some more discounts. Well, just one more actually, but yeah, first get an ice monkey right over here. This ice will be very important later, because it will allow us to place our Grandmaster Ninja in the middle. But just don't upgrade it yet, this is just a placeholder for now. Just to make sure our spots are as good as possible. And then get a village right over here as top right as possible. And get it to a discount. And then get jungle drums on your village. And then for 43, just brambles. And then get camo on your right village. And now we'll be getting a boomerang right over here, just as top left as possible. Ideally it is in both discount ranges, but I've beaten this without it even having jungle drums, so it's not entirely needed for it to be double discounted. And then we'll be going for a more glaives, which was actually used in the original save up that people would use to beat this map. It's kind of crazy that it was more glaives, but who knows? It seems to have worked. You should get more glaives on 47, and it should be taking the alch buff from the triple guns. And then just brambles the ceramics, and you'll be good. You can also get the middle cross path on the more glaives here. It's better than the bottom cross path because it's alch buffed. That's basically it. It also attacks really fast, which is kind of good. And now we'll be going for the other save-up tower. Arcane Spike. Yeah, for some reason this was used in the original save-up, so I guess it makes sense to use it here. I guess with Obin it essentially has global range, which is pretty good actually. Since we have the more glaives, this round has no, or round 49, which is generally a pretty tough round, has no abilities. You can see those rangs just bouncing all over the place. It's kind of crazy. And then for round 50, just brambles the Moab. Pretty standard. And then get Arcane Spike the instant you can afford it. And now Obin has reached level 10, and trees are a key part of this setup. So place them right up here, and just use them the instant they come off cooldown on 52. And then, for 53, we'll be adding the final thing before we start going for Grandmaster Ninja, which is alch buffing our Arcane Spike with a 301 alch. Without an alch, Arcane Spike kinda sucks, but with an alch, it's slightly usable. It really needs that attack speed. And now, let's start going for the ice platform and our Bloon Jitsu. So, get an 031 Arctic Wind, and then get a ninja right over here, as just like as high as possible while still being in double discount range. Here it's right at the top of the ice platform for me. I could actually put it a bit lower, which would make this slightly better, but nah, I'll just put it as high as possible. Just put it as high as possible while still being in range of both discounts, because we're going to get this to mid later, and we want our Grandmaster to be able to pop DDTs. And yeah, just get it to a 402 Bloon Jitsu. You may be wondering, why can't it attack? It will soon. It will soon. It's mostly, yeah, Obin's level 11 buff gives it a bit more range so that it can just barely hit Moabs, and then giving it a stronger stimulant right over here under double discount. Actually, it's probably fine if you don't double discount it. Just place it as top right as possible next to your Bloon Jitsu here. It doesn't have to be under double discount. Just stimming it will make it, and also get the middle cross path, because this will attack really fast later. Stimming it will make it so our Bloon Jitsu can hit Bloons. And yeah, that's really it. We barely have to do anything all the way until we save up for Grandmaster Ninja. Just refresh your trees on 63 and make sure to collect the money, because if you don't, you're actively losing money, and that is not good. And also, this isn't just for those of you that don't know, this isn't making extra money. This is just the money you would have made from normally popping the Bloons. Whenever your trees pop next, refresh them. So on 74, we want to refresh our trees and collect the money. We want to do this on 74 because the trees are mostly there for 75, and 74, quite literally nothing will touch them. Or so few Bloons will touch them to the point where it's like not an impact, or it doesn't impact anything. So yeah. Also, there could technically be RNG with wherever, like, Obin's totems show up, but I've never encountered that, so you'll probably be fine. On 76, if your trees break, which there's a good chance they do, don't actually refresh them on 77. Because we need to have them up for the first wave of 78, or else you just straight up die. Your more glaives should be able to snipe the singular BFB insides where it can't directly attack them. Yeah, and at the beginning of 78, reactivate trees. And then, in the middle of 79, get your Grandmaster Ninja. Getting Grandmaster before any Shinobis is only slightly cursed, but that's how people used to do it, so I feel legally obligated to do that. And for some reason, oh yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know this until trying to make this strategy, but Grandmaster Ninja actually gets more range, so it can actually hit stuff, which is really nice. And now that we have our Grandmaster Ninja, let's spam 20 Shinobis. Well, not 20 straight away, but yeah, just start by placing them over here. Start by placing one over here. Under double discount, getting as many under double discount as possible is preferred, but if you can't, that's fine. We'll still end up with some that are completely undiscounted. And then just for round 80, you should be able to afford 2 Shinobis. Only 2 for now, but we'll be getting a lot more over the coming rounds. And then also for consistency on round 80, just move your trees over here. These trees aren't needed at all for the next few rounds and are basically just there to prevent any possible RNG from happening this round. whenever your trees pop, make sure you collect the money, because if you don't, you're just missing out on money that you really do need, because money is kind of tight with this strategy. So, yeah. Get a third Shinobi on 82. And a fourth Shinobi. And a fifth Shinobi. And we can't quite get a sixth, but we can get it in the middle of this round. The fortified BFB that comes from the top can be a little bit of a worry sometimes, so just bramble it to be safe. And you know the drill. More Shinobis. After 82, you should have 7 to 8 Shinobis. You should be able to fit a Shinobi between, or like below your ice and between both villages. It is kind of important that you can do that. Well, if you place the ice before the villages, you should still be able to. So yeah. The Grandmaster Ninja's hitbox is slightly lower than it seems, so this Shinobi does not seem like it would affect the Grandmaster, but it is. And if you have one here, I think this is going to be slightly out of range of the Grandmaster, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's just barely out of range here. Get Seeking, because that increases the range slightly and will allow it to be in range. Don't remove any of the obstacles yet. We'll be doing that later, but not quite now. That was almost a bad accident, because that would have offset money a significant amount. And then just keep spamming Shinobis. Like here, this one's barely out of range, so get Seeking, and it is now in range. I doubt this placing a Shinobi here will affect it, so just for safety, I'm not going to. If you don't think it will affect the Grandmaster, it probably won't. Just trust your gut here. It's probably right. 12. $13. This should just barely hit it. And also, based on all of your other placements up to this point, your Shinobi spots might be slightly different than mine, so don't worry about it. Just, as long as you have 20 by the end, you're good. And then, this one is just... Wait, is that out of range? Yeah, this is just barely out of range. 14. Once you have around 14 to 15 Shinobis, you're going to have to start placing a bunch that are not under any discount whatsoever. It's a shame that you're losing money, but it's fine. Money's kind of tight, but not tight to the point where you have to optimize Shinobi discounts. Start getting some up here. Or, well, just one between Obin and the Arcane Spike, and then this whole right side can fit a few. 16. 17. 18. And now for round 90, we don't have a MIB yet, but because of how the DDTs, or because of where the DDTs come out on this map, if you place trees as high as possible here, it will actually eat all of them, which is really, really nice. Like, it just ate all 3. And now, you should have 18 Shinobis after round 90. Now we'll start to get a MIB, because we do need it for 93. We can't use the same tree trick that we used last time. Just get MIB before 93. You'll be completely fine. Also, theoretically, there could be RNG at any point in this late game because of seeking RNG and stuff. But I've never encountered it, so might as well not exist. Well, actually, it might exist, but who knows. Anyway, for 93, get another Shinobi, 19. And then, after 93, or right at the start of 94, you should be able to afford your final Shinobi for 20 stacks. Oh, seems like it's going to be right at the beginning of 94. But after 93, move your trees back to the same spot where it was before, except slightly lower because we don't want it to accidentally clip a BFB. And yeah, now you should have 20 Shinobis on your Grandmaster. The game is really easy from here. Make sure to collect money from your trees whenever they pop. And then, for 95, get a 023 Moab glue right over here under double discount. Set to strong. And right over here, hopefully under double discount. If it's not under double discount, you've done something seriously wrong. Should be just to the left, like bottom left of your Jungle Drums village. Get a unstable concoction with faster throwing, also set to strong. You don't have to worry about 95. Grandmaster takes care of the DDTs pretty well. If one DDT looks like it's getting far, Grandmaster will just go and murder it like instantly. For 96, place your trees up here. And now we'll be getting the only actual deviation from the original strategy. And normally people would get like a first strike here back in, or when the strat was originally used. But with power creep, the best option here is actually a 041 glue strike. Not 042 because we don't need it for the ceramics. We just need it for a debuff, and 041 is the most efficient for that. Because the stickier glue makes it last much longer. And also, just use the glue strike on 96 to be like 100% safe. And then use it again on 97. After the first ZOMG is completely dead, use trees. And now for 98, get rid of the bottom obstacle and the top obstacle. This round might be a little bit RNG. I really can't tell. The last few times I've done it, I've beaten it first try completely. But it's really hard to tell. First thing you're going to want to do is glue strike off cooldown. Like, as soon as you can use a glue strike, use it. This is needed to break down the ZOMGs as quickly as possible because they're the main challenge of this round. And then, as soon as you can, get a Sabo on any of your Shinobis. We desperately need this for 99 because if you don't have it, you just straight up die. And collect money from your trees. The only way you can really die is if you have F Moabs and normal Moabs exiting from 2 different paths at the exact same time, but that won't really happen unless it's something similar to this. And even this got handled pretty well. And then remove the left obstacle for 99, and use a Sabo the instant you see a DDT. Don't use any other abilities. We desperately need them for 100. Like, 100% required for 100, or else you just lose. And now, for even more debuffing, because, yes, get a 410, or 420 even, embrittlement, because we have a little bit of extra money, just so we can debuff the bad even more. If you want to buy some extra stuff here, like attack sprayers that could do a tiny bit of extra bad damage, feel free to do so, but you shouldn't have to. And then for 100, use trees instantly, and move it over here. Glue strike, and when Obin starts attacking, use brambles. These actually do a ton of damage to the bad because it's glue striked. And then use another glue strike off cooldown. And boom. If you've done everything correctly, and trust me, it is a lot, including a lot of annoying Shinobi placements, you should now have your quad black border with a strategy straight out of 2021, or 2020, I don't remember when it was first done. This strat is incredibly based and very cool, so you should be proud of yourself. I hope this guide helped you out in some way. Have a nice rest of your day, and goodbye. The OG strats are still somehow pretty good. It's crazy to think. Crazy to think.